can write to relatives, we can write to friends, we can write to people across the world. So letter writing is divided into two types, namely formal and informal letters. Formal and informal letters. What are formal letters? Formal letters, these are letters written for official use only. What are informal letters? Informal letters, these are letters written to friends, family members, other relatives, and acquaintances. Acquaintances means the people that we know but when we are not close. Friends, in that case, let's dig deep by looking at these things in details. Informal letters, as I've said, they are written to friends, relatives, acquaintances, and then the language we use under informal letters is free to express ourselves. Is free, casual, friendly, personal. Examples I've given you: friendly stroke personal letters, invitations, apologies, condolence letters, thank you notes, to mention but a few. If you look at the structure of an informal letter, in this episode, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you the structure of the two types of letters, that is formal and official letters. Then in the next episode, I'll give you examples of the two letters. The address of the sender, that's item number 1 in every letter. Address of the sender, in this case, it is put on the left upper hand side of your paper. If you are writing on the paper, if you're using a computer to type, it is put on the left, on the left, yes, upper, because there's no proper kind of doing things. But if you feel like you want to follow that paper kind of writing, maybe someone who is using a handwriting, you can send it to the left, to the right upper hand corner. Then you write the address, like for instance Kabalagala Parish, you punctuate with a comma, you put the box number with a comma, then you put the place or town. Like for instance, that is Kampala here, you put a full stop. A full stop only comes in after you mentioning the place or town. We use small letters, but initials of all the letters are small, and then we write in a slanting format. Then let us move forward. What is our item number 2? Item number 2 is the date. This is written directly under the sender's address without skipping a line. The first digit of the date has to be directly proportional to the first letter in the name of the organization or institution. The name of the organization or institution, and it has to be punctuated properly. Like for example, let me give you an example here. This is our address and the date. The address is above in the slanting format. Then the date is 23rd August 2020. That is an example of the date. Why do we say that the first digit has to be in line with the directly proportion to the digit? We want to bring out that to the directly proportion to the name of the institution or organization, if it is a company, something like that. We want to bring out that proper line of a slanting format, and we don't skip a line. The math is written in full with a capital letter beginning, and then we punctuate with a comma, then you put the year, you end with a full stop. I think you have seen. All these ones are put on the right upper hand corner side. Then from there we have the salutation. Remember, we are looking at an informal letter. The salutation of an informal letter is a greeting. This is the greeting, and it can be started with dear, hello, hi, hey, etc. And it depends on the relationship between the person who is writing and the person they are sending it to. Like for example, our example here is hello Mary. Are you seeing that? That's item number 3. We have the sender's address, the date, then the salutation, then the body. The body, this is this comprises of and is generally dependent on the purpose or content of the letter, and is made up of 4 short indented paragraphs. You can put this into paragraphs which are short, and with the language used here is casual, friendly, because the person you are writing to, you know the person, you know each other as friends or an acquaintance. Then item number 5 is the closing remark. This signifies the ending of the letter, and it is usually written at the bottom right hand corner at the bottom right hand corner of your paper, immediately after the last paragraph, without skipping a line. When you put your, when you are done writing your letter, what comes last is the closing remark. And the expressions we use when we are ending these letters include, some of them include yours, loving, yours ever, ever yours, your son, your daughter, yours affectionately, and many others. Please, on this, in informal letters, we don't sign. We don't sign on informal letters. And in that case, let me show you an example here. The only thing you have to do is to help me begin with the capital letters on each word in the closing remark. Your loving friend, capital Y on your, capital L on loving, capital F on friend. Then you write one name. You begin with the capital letter, then others small, then you put a full stop. That is a sample of the structure of an informal letter. Now let us deep down, go deep into the formal letters. I said I'll give you examples in the next episode. Examples of these letters in the next episode. Formal letters. Here we go. With formal letters, they are called formal or official or business letters. And these are letters written for official use only. They serve a lot of communicative purposes between two or more parties, and as such may be informative, persuasive, motivational, or promotional. They include applications, invitations, apologies, condolences, complaints, resignations, recommendations, letter to the press, letters of interest, order letters, adjustments, to mention but a few. The language herein is strictly formal. That is something you should note. Now let's look at the structure of a formal letter. Not different from that of the informal letter. It has what we call address of the sender. The addresser's address. Address of the sender. This is written at the top right hand corner of your paper in a slanting way, and it should tend towards the right hand, the right hand side. Yes, I think you can see, for instance, here as it was in the informal letter. As an example, that is the address. A full stop, it's punctuated with the commas. A full stop comes when you have mentioned the place or town. Item number 2, for this case, it is date, which is the same as even in the other part of the informal letter, the date. This is written directly under the sender's address without skipping a line. The first digit of the date has to be directly proportional to the first letter in the name of the organization or institution or company, and it has to be properly punctuated. It has to be properly punctuated. This is how we write it. Something to note: the month has to be written in full and should be followed by a comma. The ordinal indicator, that is, for example, the RD, ST, RD for the third, 23rd, something like that, ST for first, 21st, ND for second, 22nd, and TH for 11th, 8th, must be written in small letters and placed on the same level with the figures. In other words, they shouldn't be indented. A full stop must be placed immediately after writing the year. For example, when you write your address, you up next is the date. 23rd, I think you can see the RD ordinal is sitting on the same line with the digits. August beginning with the capital letter, and the month must be in full, punctuated with a comma. Then you put the year and with a full stop. But this 23rd, the first delta, that first digit, that is 2, is proportional to the name of the school, to the name of the parish, which is Kabalagala. On top, if you're writing an application your address. If you're writing an apology, so the first digit must be directly proportional with the organization or name of that. Then from there, we write the address of the person addressed, the receiver's address. A form letter has two addresses. A form letter has two addresses. We have the sender's address and the receiver's address. Now we are going to the receiver's address. This is written at the left hand side of your paper in a block form. Block form means beginning from the margin. Immediately after the date, without skipping a line, the address has to start with the name, stroke or title of the recipient, followed by the name of the organization, address, and then the district or place or town. The first letters in the name or title of the receiver, the name of the organization or institution, address, and the district or town must be capital, and all the rest small. The entire address has to be properly punctuated. For instance, here we are saying you begin with the title of the person or the institution, the title of the person. Then from the title of the person, like for instance here we have the principal, then the name of the institution, organization or company, the name of the institution here, it is Good Luck Secondary School, then the address, then you put a full stop. From there we have the salutation. We say the salutation acts as a greeting. This is a greeting and it can be started with only, under form letters, it can be started only with dear sir or dear madam. The salutation must be written on the right hand side of the paper immediately after the date, without skipping a line. It should start from the margin. You put a date where you are putting the place under the receiver's address. The date is important. However, after you putting the date in the sender's address, it may not be important to include the date in the receiver's address. For example, here we have dear madam. It is punctuated with a comma. Then from there we move to what we call the reference. The reference, this is the subject or the reason why you are writing this letter. In this case, it is written after the salutation without skipping a line, and it is not abbreviated, and it is not written in capital letters, but it is abbreviated in capital R small e. I think you can see it here, capital R small e, and immediately it is followed by a colon. I think you can see an example. It is here, capital R small e. Like for instance, the reason why we're writing apology for insulting a prefect. You write using small letters, but when the first one is a capital, then you underline with a single line. Then up next is the body. The body comprises of and is generally dependent on the purpose or content of the letter. Yes, it is written in paragraphs. 4. Here we recommend 4 paragraphs. Do not skip lines when writing these paragraphs. Then we move to the closing remarks. This one signifies the ending of the letter, and it should usually be written at the bottom right hand corner of your paper, immediately after the last paragraph, without skipping a line. The first letters of the closing remark have to be capital and should be written tending towards the right hand side. I think you can see here. Do not write your name in small letters, please. Under formal letters, we don't write our names in small letters. We must append a signature. Like here, yours faithfully,